do church plants owe money to the original church?
Do they owe money?
Yes. Like, is this like a franchising situation?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like where they're going to give money back to the church. I think that depends on the church planting situation as well.
Okay.
Because if the church, like if there's a local church that is the one that's investing in that church plant.
Because all denominations have to do that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're part of a denomination, you're going to give a percentage of what, of your income, if you were, you're going to give a percentage of your income back to that denomination. Okay. And so I think that it would, so depending on the church plant situation, if that, the mother church, if you were, sending out, planting the other church, they're financially funding it. They may want to say, hey, 10% of what comes in, or that may be a big number, 5% of what comes in, we would like for you to send back to us. And then what they may do is take that 5% and put it back into a church planting fund.
Okay.
And that's basically preparing them to have the finances to go toward another church plant in the future. Or they may say, hey, by this year, year 3, year 5 or whatever, we're no longer going to be financially supporting you, and you don't owe anything to us. We're all, we're both going to be just locally autonomous. We're here for each other relationally, and we're connected that way, but there's not going to be any kind of financial exchange. So that's really all up to the planting church and how they go about it.
How is there like a distance that matters? Like, could we plant a church in overseas? Is that a thing?
Sure. 100% that's a thing.
And send a bunch of our people overseas to start a church?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Or across the states or something?
Yeah. I think that kind of happens in two different ways. If you're talking about going overseas, often if a church is helping start a church overseas, planting a church, they're not necessarily sending people over there, but they're partnering either with a mission agency or with a missionary or a church planting group there.
Okay.
And they're helping send finances. They may even send teams down to help, build a church structure, a church building, but they're not necessarily going to send people down there to start the church with them.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying often it doesn't. It's usually sending resources, teams to build or finances to get started. Okay. Now, if you're talking about in the States, that's very different. So there was a church planting network from Alaska, actually, that was happening in the 70s and 80s, and they sent out churches all over the country from Alaska. And so actually the individual that...
Sounds like just self-preservation.
What do you mean?
Getting out of Alaska.
No, so this...
I'm going to the Hawaii one.
Yeah, that's what you
better than Alaska.
That's what you volunteer for.
Yeah.
Well, so
I mean, not me personally.
Right.
I'd stay in Alaska.
All right. So right.
But normal people.
Right. You're like, please God.
Yeah.
Alaska. Yeah. That's where you want to go plant a church.
Plant a church. Yeah.
So. But all right. So for example, Jake.
This is good.
You've got
right here.
You've got igloos up there. That's your church.
Yeah.
Here's my large igloo. Right. We can
church sculpting.
Everybody's got their own
steeple made out of ice.
Everybody's got their own igloos. Yeah. You're live streaming into the igloos. But no, so the author of the Discipleship Resources, that's one of our sponsors, Dr. Jay Zinn. So he was a church planter from that group in Alaska.
Okay.
And so they went planted in Florida. And so Fort Walton
Makes
Beach,
sense.
Florida, right? From Alaska to Florida.
There you go.
Went to Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And so, so it was him with a team and with financial resources. But this church that was just rapidly growing during the Jesus Revolution movement of the 70s.
Oh.
We're taking individuals, sending them through Bible school that they had there locally on site. So they had a Bible school. People were going through the Bible school and then going out with teams to plant churches.
Okay.
And they did this all throughout the United States. And so there's a long history of that, not just like with this church in Alaska, but I know other churches that are doing that right now, actually.
Okay.
That's
so
what
really far away ones.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get much further away going from Alaska to Florida.
Yeah.
But it's kind of that same thing where they're planting churches right now that's not just, in their own state or their own region, but they're planting churches across the country.